Hey, good morning, y'all. This is Rodney, and I'm back. And it's like 4:50 in the morning. I'm scheduled to be at work at 6. I woke up at 4. I couldn't go back to sleep, so I just started lurking on Instagram. Ran across my man page. Girl, I'm so happy I found my man page, y'all. He is so cute. Thank God I didn't double tap on any of his pictures. Girl, I wanted to look at his stories so bad. God knows I wanted to look at his story so bad. But I couldn't, because if I looked at his story and if he looked at his, you can see when people look at you. Did I tell y'all one time I was stalking this boy on Instagram, and I did not know at the time that people could look. Where's my lotion? Girl, where my lotion at? I didn't know that people could look. I didn't know you could see the people that looked at your story on Instagram. So girl, every time he posts something, I'm just like, click, 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 like, oh, there go my man, there go my man, there go my man. And then one day Brittany was like, people can see who looks at this story. I was like, girl, what? I was like, no, you can't. And she was like, yeah, you can. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. You know how many people's story I have been looking at, really thinking I had been getting away with lurking on their page? And the whole time they probably was seeing my name pop up. Girl, Rodney the Voice, like just every day. Anyways, I wanted to come to y'all and talk to y'all about Mario Lopez. Now, I have a lot to say about this. So for those who don't know, Mario Lopez was on the Candace Owens show. And they started talking about transgendered kids. And I'm going to post the links in the description box. Candace Owens, she started saying something about the new trend where celebrities are coming out and saying that their child is picking their gender. I think they were talking about, what's her name? The pretty, I think she's South African. Charlize Theron. Gorgeous woman. And so Mario, who I want to say from out the gate is from what I understand, is a huge ally and a huge supporter of the LGBTQ community. I think one year he was like, the person that leads the parade. I think he was like the person that led the parade in Miami one year. So I want to go ahead and say that Mario Lopez is a huge supporter, from what I understand, and an ally to the LGBTQ community. And so he responded by saying, look, I'm never one to tell anyone how to parent their kids, obviously. And I think that if you come from a place of love, you really can't go wrong. But at the same time, my God, if you're 3 years old and you're saying you're feeling a certain way, or you think you're a boy or a girl or whatever the case may be, I just think it's dangerous as a parent to make that determination. And then he says, well, then you're going to be a boy or a girl, whatever the case may be. It's sort of alarming, and my gosh, I just think about the repercussions later on. Mario has 3 children. Gia, I ain't going to say all their names. Anyway, he has 3 kids. First of all, I want to say this much, starting off. I think a lot of people confuse sexuality and gender. They conflate the two when the two live in separate spaces. Like, your sexuality has nothing to do with your gender, and your gender has nothing to do with your sexuality. I think that when we discuss topics such as transgendered issues, it is a very sensitive subject. I think it is a very in my opinion, just my opinion, I think it's a very complicated subject. So when you hear someone saying, like Candace Owens, is this weird trend, and you hear Mario Lopez, what people have labeled as his comments as being ignorant and insensitive. Look, this is what I think. This is just my opinion, and don't shoot me. I don't know all things trans. I don't. Bitch, I don't know all things gay, okay? However, I can see how someone, if you had a child, how it could be alarming to someone if your daughter or son came to you and said, "Hey, mama, I'm a girl," if they were a boy, or if they were a girl and said, "Hey, mommy, I'm a boy." I could see how that could be a little bit alarming. I think what happens is when people make these statements, I think there's this bullet, they're like this target put on, like they put this target on Mario's back. And I don't think that he was trying to be innocent. Like, there are people out there who say some effed up stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, they really say mean, effed up stuff. I don't think that Mario's comments were coming from a mean place. I don't think that he was trying to be insensitive. I think he did the best way he could on explaining how he felt about the situation. Let me say this before we go into more of this. I think we have to be careful. I really do. Especially when it comes to heterosexual men that are allies and supporters of the LGBT community. We have to be really careful. It ain't a lot of straight motherfuckers out there who, will go to a parade and hoop and holler with us and tell us that they support us. So when you find those one or two, bitch, and you reel them hoes in, like, it's one thing. It's okay to correct people. It's okay to say, hey, this is not how it works. But I feel like sometimes it could come across as an attack. And then if Mario Lopez came back and said next week, like, bitch, I don't fuck with them no more, then everybody gonna be looking crazy because we just lost this man, this straight man, who was a supporter of the community, and because no one could just pull him to the side and say, hey, girl, hey, hey, Mr. Lopez, this is how this actually works, like a professional or a doctor or somebody, but it just comes across as though, like, and it's like, okay, girl. I think that sometimes when people talk about certain situations, I think that we all have a tendency to do this. We go to the very extreme. Like, I think that sometimes when people think of transgendered kids or being transgendered at 3 or 4 or 5, they automatically go to, oh my God, he want to put some titties on his chest. Oh my God, she want to get a dick attached between her legs. Oh my God, she wants, he wants to get his penis flipped inside out and cut. You see what I'm saying? Like, they go to the very extreme, not realizing that I believe there are certain steps, a lot of steps, that you have to take or you're supposed to take before the whole breast and all that stuff, hormones and all that stuff, all that stuff even gets involved. So I think that when I see these comments online and they're like, oh, he didn't say anything wrong. Well, there are some doctors and professionals out there that would actually disagree with you saying that he didn't say anything wrong. And the truth of the matter is there are parents out there who are parents of transgender kids who can probably tell you firsthand the experience that they've went through. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say that if my child, I ain't even got no children. I don't want I don't want none of the motherfuckers. Okay. But if my nieces came to me and said, I don't have kids and those are not my kids, those are my nieces, and said, hey, Uncle Ronnie, I don't know what they think of me. My name is Rodney, girl. They gonna get it together. Hey, Uncle Rodney, I want to be a boy, and I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I wouldn't be like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, I really think that it's one of those things that knocks you off your feet when your child comes to you and says, hey, I think I'm a boy. Hey, I think I'm a girl. I think with that being said, that we also have to start listening to these children. Like, I think that when these kids express how they feel, we automatically shut them down. It's kind of like when your child does say, I think I like boys, and your child is a boy, you automatically shut them down and push them away. It's a little chance that Kevin was looking at little Tommy up the street, baby, okay? So all I'm saying is if your daughter or son comes to you and says, hey, mommy, I think I'm a girl, instead of shutting it down, you may want to go seek some professional help. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't going around here talking about I was a girl. Now I was putting t-shirts on my head. I was putting t-shirts on my smell. I was putting t-shirts on my head acting like I had 24 inches. Smell. Okay. I was doing all of that. Okay. But girl, better believe I like everything on my body. You smell. A thick thigh save lives. But yeah, I just think that when it comes to, one thing I have noticed is anytime something comes up and it pertains to the LGBTQ community, a lot of people, especially black people, and these just are the comments that I read online, they automatically dismiss it with the quickness. They automatically chalk it down to, oh, people can't express how they feel anymore. People are so sensitive. Don't get it twisted. People are sensitive. Gay people are sensitive. Black people are sensitive. White people are sensitive. Mexicans are sensitive. Hey, people are just sensitive in 2019. But I also think that every time an issue comes up that has to do with the LGBTQ community, you just can't dismiss it and then just say, oh, the gays are sensitive. The truth of the matter is, people have trans kids who grow up to be trans adults. You see what I'm saying? So you can't sit here and just say that people are just making this shit up. And again, I think that sometimes when we talk about these issues like trans, people go to the very end of the street. Like, oh my God, a 3-year-old not about to be doing, like, they're not going to attach titties to a 3-year-old's chest. They're not just going to go in there and cut off a 3-year-old's penis and shove it up their back. You see what I'm saying? But I think that's what people automatically go to this very extreme, like, and that's not how it works from what I understand. Again, I just think that we all need to be sensitive to the fact that there are trans kids, that there are parents out there with trans kids. But I also understand where Mario was coming from. Like, at the end of the day, I think that will be a hard pill for anybody to swallow. Like, what you talking about? Nigga, if you don't get in there and put them tennis shoes on. Girl, what you talking about? Girl, if you don't go put that dress on and them sellers and get on my face. You see what I'm saying? But I think that with that being said, we have to be aware. We have to be open. We have to know that if your child comes to you talking about, oh, mommy, I'm a boy, oh, mommy, I'm a girl, and they're a boy, you may want to get on some Google and start seeking some professional help. That's all I'm saying. You just can't be so quick to shut down something because you don't understand it. You can't be so quick to shut something down because you don't want to understand it. You can't be so quick to shut something down because, oh, we're not going to talk about it right now. We'll talk about that later. Or, you young, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Kids know what's going on with their bodies, child. Okay? The same way you knew, the same way I knew, they know too. But again, I think that the LGBTQ community and the allies of the LGBTQ community, we need to be very careful. This is just my opinion. We don't have a lot of straight men, okay, who are allies to the community. So when you get one, bitch, you better hold on to them hoes tight, okay, and stop making, because this is just me. If this is just me, we all have our own opinions. If I was a straight man and I said something that a lot of people in the LGBTQ community are allies, are supporters, are people who understand the topic they deemed as wrong, if I felt like I was attacked, baby, I would get to cursing y'all out. Okay, bitch, I said one wrong thing and y'all gonna just jump on me like that? You know what? Fuck y'all. That would be my attitude. So if Mario Lopez came back, and he's not gonna come back and do it because he's too nice of a guy. But if he said if he told his wife, like, that's exactly why I don't fool with him, I wouldn't even blame him. I wouldn't. But again, I think that a lot of people, when they hear the subjects, when we talk about issues that pertain to the LGBTQ community, I think a lot of people automatically, just chop it down to, oh, they're being too sensitive. He shouldn't have apologized. I don't necessarily think he should have apologized either because, like I said, I don't think he said anything wrong. I mean, I think he gave his opinion. I don't think that he tried to be mean about it. I think he really probably thought that he was saying the correct things, that he was just trying to be honest about it. I wouldn't have apologized either, but I just don't like I just don't like that when anything pertains to my community that people the way that people think, it does a complete 180. I don't even want to get into race. I don't. But I just noticed that a lot of y'all think one way when it pertains to us, and it could be the same exact thing pertaining to black people, and then all of a sudden everything you just said, and it's pretty much the same exact example. Anyway, I don't even feel like going down that road. But yeah, I think that's all I really had to say. I think that's all I had to say. Mario, baby, come over here. Let me bring you a hot bath. Okay, put you some Epsom salt in it, make you a cute little dinner. I can't cook nothing but chicken breast and candy yams, but I'm gonna make you a cute little dinner, a cute little side salad, pour you a glass of vodka, okay? Yes, ma'am. Okay, because I know that woman ain't doing shit for you but pushing out them children. I can't give you no children, but I can damn sure take care of you, baby. Yes. Come on, Mario Lopez with his fine ass. Maybe it's his boy, my job, that look just like Mario Lopez. He look like he could be his little brother. The boy is fine as hell. Okay? Every day I'm just looking at this nigga like, God damn. But yeah, that's all I got to say, y'all. If you have a transgender kid, shout out to y'all, because I know that's something difficult to go through. It's something difficult to understand. If you don't understand trans, I don't understand all things trans, but I'm also not going to be so quick to shut it down. If you have a child who's telling you that they may be a girl or they may be a boy, don't be so quick to shut it down. You may want to seek some professional help. But I can also understand how if I had a 3-year-old son or a 4-year-old daughter, or my 4-year-old niece come to me and say, hey, Uncle Ronnie, I'm a boy, I would be like, what are you talking about, girl? So I get it. I think that's a natural reaction when your daughter tells you that she's a boy or your son tells you that you're a girl. Anyways, I gotta go, y'all. Bye.